Greetings, and welcome to the NCOPE Residency Program Annual Report. Odds are you received an email from the NCOPE staff that looks something like what you see on the screen here. It contains some basic information about your residency program and a link that you can click on in order to begin the program annual report. Let's go ahead and complete our first residency program annual report. To open up the annual report, go ahead and either click here, there'll be a hyperlink, or in the event that that hyperlink is not working or disabled by your corporate email policy, there'll be a link that you'll be able to copy and paste into your browser. I'm going to go ahead and click here. Once we do that, we can see that we have the login page. Let's go ahead and adjust our zoom so we can more easily see how to log in. The login contains some basic information. Also, if you use the magic link that was provided in the email shown earlier in this presentation, all you need to do is copy and paste the site ID for your residency program, hit copy, and paste it directly in to this window here. Since we're filling this out in 2024 January, we're going to be reporting data for the previous calendar year, 2023. Go ahead and click your next button. We recognize that it might take a little bit of time for you to finish the PAR. To facilitate the submission over more than just one sitting, go ahead and enter the email address that you'd like to have a link sent to allow you to return to it and start at any time. Another option that many of you may find beneficial is NCOPE actually can generate a report that contains current residency directors and mentors, current and recent residents, and records about the accreditation history of the residency program simply by checking yes. It will automatically default to yes for you. But let's go ahead and click next. Once you click next, it will actually query the NCOPE database and, if possible, enter some basic information on this page. Now, we talked about that report that's being sent to you as well. That contains information about mentors, residents, accreditation history. That's actually actively working. It usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes to come in, but don't worry, I'll actually show you what that email is going to look like in just a moment. And actually, I just heard my email chime. It looks like that report has been delivered. Let's go ahead and pull it into the screen so we can go ahead and see the email that contains some information that might be helpful. And here's the email that contains the report. It'll be attached as an Excel file. But if your email supports it, you can even load it up in your browser. Otherwise, download it and open it up in Excel. But let's go ahead and click on it. And here we can see we have the residency program status. And it contains the site ID that you entered earlier, your company name, the accreditation cycles. And here you can see for the residency site identified here, their cycle began on February 13, 2022, and will end on February 13, 2025. But the historic ones are listed here as well. It'll also identify residency program types offered and whether the program is approved for clinical or research track. The primary address will be listed here as well. Plus, you'll be able to see the individuals that have been identified as faculty members for your residency site for the most recent cycle and their end dates. So if you have an individual that, for example, was the director previously, but they left before accreditation was over, you'll see that the end date is different from the end date for the actual residency site itself. If you want to go ahead and scroll down a little bit further, you'll also see a report of residents that are currently active and not currently complete at your facility, as well as their residency start dates and end dates, their residency type, as well as residency track. Furthermore, you'll be able to see residents that have completed their residency training in recent history as well. and that'll be listed just below your active residence. This information is going to be handy more than likely as you complete the report, especially at a site like the one I'm showing here, which has an awful lot of residents and an awful lot of mentors. I do recognize that many residency sites only have 1 or 2 residents and 1 or 2 mentors at a given time. But I wanted to give an example of just what you might see if you are working at a larger facility. I went ahead and minimized that email, and let's start entering some basic information. That actually looks pretty good. I'm just going to spell out the word street, and we're going to report to the 11th floor for this O&P clinical service. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit, and we can enter the clinic's phone number and hit our next button. What's nice is it actually creates what we call a magic link. This link here will actually let you get back into the annual report without having to fill it out multiple times. And that ding that you just heard in the background, that's the system actually emailing you a copy of this link, just in case you don't actually save this and bookmark it. So don't worry, a copy's being sent to you as well. But now we're ready to proceed to the actual data entry component. Go ahead and click the next button. First question is, did the residency site advertise a residency position using NCOPE ResCAS? Ooh, and this is for 2023. I can say yes, because we actually open it up every year right around Halloween and close it down right around every December. And did we advertise outside of NCOPE ResCAS? Nah, we just do it there and that's it. But on that note, if you really want to post something on, say, the O&P Almanac or O&P Edge classified ads that links back to your NCOPE ResCAS account, that's cool too. But I'm going to say no for this option, since we only use NCOPE ResCAS at the residency site I'm at. Now, did the residency site extend any offers to persons who applied? You bet. And did the residency site have any persons accept an offer and complete the hiring and onboarding? Yeah, they showed up all right and got their proper training and actually got residency training. Now, did the residency site host any students as a resident via an O&P master's program that has an integrated residency? For example, the Baylor College of Medicine, and also Salus University has an integrated residency as well. And in 2023, we did not, although we did a few years ago. Now, what was the total number of completed applications received for residency programs and tracks? So we do research track prosthetic residency and clinical track orthotic residency. I'm going to add those up. So in total, we actually had 56 applications. And enter the total number of positions that were extended. So we reached out to a total of 8 people. Because amazingly enough, somebody turned us down. But the total number of residents that wound up actually starting the residency with us, well, 2 turned us down, but overall, we had 6 residents start. But we also have a pretty big program. It's not uncommon to only have 1 or maybe 2 residents start any given year. Let's go ahead and click Next. Residency program personnel and outcomes. The prompts at the top of this page relate to the residency program directors and mentors at the NCOPE accredited residency site, while the prompts at the bottom relate to the residents. Enter the total number of NCOPE recognized mentors, including the directors that supervised mentors and residents during 2023. Ooh, you know what'd be helpful? That spreadsheet that was sent earlier that we talked about. So I can go right back and count. Well, we have a whole bunch. We have 10 individuals actually that are mentoring our residents. I'm just going to type in 10. But, well, thanks, NCOPE. You gave me the answer. And let's see. Enter the total number of residents that were actively employed and registered at the site during that year. So we onboarded 6, but we also had 6 other residents start last year, and they finished in 2023. So 6 started, 6 different ones finished, and that's all during the same year. So 6 plus 6, that's 12. And then the number of people that actually finished, Well, let's see then. 6 always start and 6 generally finish, assuming everybody does well. So yeah, 6 finished. That makes sense. We onboarded 6. 6 finished. 6 plus 6 is 12. Those numbers line up. I like that. And enter the number of residents that left the residency site before successfully completing a residency program during 2023. And I'm pleased to say that number was 0. Everybody that started, luckily they finished. All right, residency program outcomes continued. For the 6 residents that successfully completed a residency during 2023, how many of those individuals finished on time or during the planned duration? So our residents do 12-month residencies. They usually start the last week of June. And I finished the last week of June because everybody was gone by July 1st. So all of them, 6. And for the 12 active residents during 2023, how frequently do the director and or mentors formally meet with the residents to discuss the progress and attainment of competency within the program? Usually we just met every quarter, every 3 months. We had our director and then whatever mentor was working with all those residents. So yeah, let's say every 3 months or quarterly. That sounds good. Sometimes we met more often, but again, you want to mark what you did typically. And was the director located in the same clinic where the 12 residents are? In our case, yes, our residency director's in our main hospital location. And that's where all the residents are. And for the 6 residents that successfully completed a residency during 2023, how many of them did you keep around for their second residency or as a staff clinician? Well, let's see. Most of them were in their second residency. We had one who is going to do their second residency somewhere else. And then we kept one of them around as a staff person. So of those 6 people that finished, only one of them actually was kept around at the end. And for the 6 residents that completed during 2023, what is their certification status for those who are enrolled for their previously enrolled disciplines? So, that's right. 3 did prosthetic training and 3 did orthotic training. We kept the prosthetist around and we know that they passed. So we have at least one person. And then 2 of them called me up and said that they didn't pass the CPM. So I have 2 that I know are not yet certified. I know that I had 1 that's certified. They work with me. And the other 3, I don't know. And honestly, that's okay if you're not sure. Now, one way to actually see if they did get certified, you can always go to the ABC website, abcop.org, and search the directory for certified individuals. Now let's see, for the 12 residents employed or registered to your residency site during 2023, are any of those individuals no longer working in the O&P profession? Not that I'm aware of. They're all still doing that. And did the NCOPE staff ever contact a residency mentor director about failing to submit documentation in a timely manner? And yeah, we actually had 2 mentors that were emailed and told that they're supposed to get their forms in, I guess, within 30 days of the end of the quarter, and they took a little more than 30 days, but that won't happen again, I'm sure. And, based on the information provided by the residents in the evaluation of the residency program or the evaluation of the residency director mentor, on the self-assessment of the residency program by the directors and mentors, I'm doing quality improvement. We talk about this. Identify 3 strengths. 1, we have an excellent mentor to resident ratio. So essentially, we have more mentors than we do residents. That's a good thing, I think. And then the other thing is we do a lot of really high-end fabs. So all myoelectric, prosthetic care, and stance control, orthotic care, fabrication is done in-house, which is pretty good. I think they learn an awful lot. And what's our final strength about the residency program? Well, we're lucky. We're part of a hospital system, so we work in the same building as the physicians and therapists. And that works out pretty well. And let's see, at least 3? Yeah, I'm good. You can always name more. There's options for 5, but I'm comfortable naming 3. And based on the information provided by the residents in the evaluation of the residency program, or evaluation of the residency director or mentor, or self-assessment, what are 3 weaknesses of the program? So in general, we don't do a lot of scoliosis. Our residents have limited access to AIS patients. So maybe we can work it out with the hospital next door that does a lot. And another thing that our residents mention is that when they go from one rotation to the next, because they get a new mentor every quarter, that they think we don't talk. We do, but maybe we need to communicate better. So we have a week handoff from quarter to quarter as the resident transfers to a new mentor. And what's one more thing that I could say is a weakness about our residency program? Oh, I think we do a really good job, but oh yeah, the residents do not consistently log all of their cases in NCOPE Tracker within 14 days, which is the requirement, but sometimes it's more like 16, 18, 20 days, but we're busy. That happens sometimes, but that's certainly something we could do better at least. And let's see, during 2023, how many times did the residency directors and mentors and other relevant stakeholders, well, that's true, we work with the doctors and therapists, we talk to them once in a while, convene to discuss the structure and execution of the program, including ways to improve it. So when have we ever had a meeting about residency in general to make it better? We're really busy, but we at least get together once a year, and normally do that right at like year's end, right before the holidays. And I remember that meeting, so yeah, annually, once per year. And then based on the strengths and weaknesses above, what changes has the program implemented or do they plan to implement to execute the program? And the one change that I could tell you we actually are going to make is we have the resident meet up with their mentor that they are finishing with simultaneously with the mentor they will be starting with the following quarter. So that way, not only do we think that we talk, we always thought we did, but now the resident actually gets to be part of the conversation as they transition from me to another mentor. I like that. That's a good change. And let's see, next, I'm making some progress. This is good. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the NCOPE Residency Review Committee and staff regarding the program? This question is optional. If you choose not to answer it, please leave it blank and select next. Yeah, I think this got everything that I thought about with residency. I'm going to call it good. And would you like to review your previous responses and download a copy? Yeah, I probably should keep a copy handy. So I'll say yes. Let's go ahead and hit next. Oh wow, that's the whole survey I filled out. And all the links and everything. That's a lot of stuff. But there we go. Download PDF. So it's just like NCOPE Tracker. I can just download the PDF right here. That's pretty cool. And hit submit. And once you hit submit and see the thank you button, well, pleased to say you are done with the PAR, the Residency Program Annual Report. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And if you do have any questions, continue to check back on the PAR information page linked in the email that you will receive once you get started. Or please reach out to NCOPE's Clinical Resource Director. Thank you so much for your time.